Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Braden with Bass Feed. So I'm on the way to the lake and I was just sitting here thinking about my game plan for today. And I would say today, March 27th, is really the first day. Now I've been out of town for a week, but today's the first day that I'm thinking about the day a little differently. Water temps are hovering around 50. Fish are actually, a little more active. And now it's time to change my approach on how I get bit. So, you guys saw my winter fishing stuff. That's sort of has a different feel to it. And I already noticed before I left that those techniques were not really working the same right before I left. And I guarantee you today, it's going to be a little different. This is sort of the time when I changed my strategy. And this is my favorite time of year. Because fish are up shallow. And it's all relative. If we're talking smallmouth, they're in 10, 15 foot of water. I'm sure of it. I haven't seen yet, but I'm sure of it. Largemouth are moving up. This is when I changed my whole thinking. Now, I did a video last year about this time, and my focus was deflection. That was the word I liked. And I'm going to be right back to that idea. And now this is how I go for some big bites. Works every year. This is my favorite time. Smallmouth, if they're around rocks, I want something that ricochets off those rocks while I'm retrieving it, just to get that reaction bite. Largemouth, ripping it out of weeds, sliding a jig around some wood, popping it loose. That is, and then, or pad stems. You got some lily pads coming up. They're not quite on the surface, but if you run that jig, swim jig, in a way that it bounces off these stems, this is the most important time of the year to utilize that strategy. For me, there's nothing that even comes close to that for the whole month. I mean, there's going to be weeks of this, all the way up until spawn, I would argue. And even during spawn, they could be on a bed, and or a female's close to a bed, and you get that same deflection, and that big fish is going to bite. At least a good portion of them. So, for you guys trying to get some big bites, this is the number one time of the year if you know what you're doing. And for me, it's deflection. So, a couple things I'm going to do today. Well, today I'm going to go focus on smallmouth. We're right on the cusp of this being the ticket for largemouth. The largemouth are going to be all not quite there, from my experience. I'm still playing them very slowly. Senko, dragging a jig. So we're not quite there, but we're very close. I say within days. One more warm weekend, and we're there. But smallmouth, they're already going to be set up this way. I guarantee you. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to do it today. For smallmouth, if they're on some rocks, I'm going to use either a football head jig and kind of bounce it through some rocks, or like a wobble head, with a football head on it, heavier weight, so you get a little more deflection, and have it bouncing around this stuff. I caught quite a few 5-pounders last year doing this exact same thing. And I'm talking smallmouth too. This is the ticket. And it's something I didn't really want to teach because I felt like it's my little secret, but It's not. The guys, pros talk about it, but they just skim right by it. Guys do talk about it, but the importance of it is not really talked about. But I can tell you, for the biggest fish, this is number one. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna get on some big smallmouth. But I bet by the first week of April, the largemouth will be in the same mindset. And I noticed there's a 2-week delay. If I were to put a number on it, there's about a 2-week delay on the largemouth. I bet smallmouth are already doing it. Largemouth are up next. So yeah, I'm gonna go hit the water. I'm gonna do that. Unfortunately I'm all tied up for largemouth, practicing for a tournament. I just got to retie a couple things, and I think I'm gonna put it to these fish. I'm gonna still go back to the techniques that were working for me in February and March, but I have a feeling it's gonna be the things that I tie on today that are the difference makers. And I might do a little follow-up, or might even throw it on this video, explaining what baits get these reaction bites I'm looking for. And some of this is a little repetitive, but it's for a good reason. Anything I repeat is worth noting, because that means 2 years in a row it's working for me. Well, more than that, but 2 years recording. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna all but guaranteed to show you some big ass smallmouth today, and hopefully give you a little feel for what I'm doing out there. All right, thanks, guys. Little bite's better than no bite. God, that's little. Gotta do better than that. Big one. Fuck me.
Fuck yeah. Gulped it. Go. What I'm talking about? Ah, another 5-pounder. That's a better fish. There goes my bait. Shucks. Shucks. I think this is scale worthy. Oh yeah. That's probably almost 5. I know you're about to go back in, girl. It's all good. Oh yeah. 5 on the money. 5 on the money. Good one. Hey, I thought I smelled one.
All right, guys. How about that? How about that? So this is a little recap. This is actually the next day, but I can't help it. That was phenomenal. I didn't catch a ton of fish, but damn, I think I got 22, 23 pounds for 5 fish. 3 of them 5 pounds, 1 of them just shy. Goodness. So I can't help it. Wife wasn't home when I got home. I just kind of packed up and whoosh, right out the door. Should be doing chores and all that fun stuff, but man, this is the time of year you just got to get on the water when you can. All right, so just a quick recap here. So you saw my intro. I thought I was getting onto a reaction bite. I thought because of the difference in temperatures this year, remember, it's late March, but it's warmer than it was even than mid-April last year. So what a learning experience. This is perfect. So I could better understand how this works and pass it on to y'all. So temps are warmer this year. What does that mean? It actually ended up meaning to me, as far as yesterday's read on what's going on, these fish did move way shallow. They're up shallow, even more shallow than they were mid-April last year. The difference is they're not quite to the point to where they're reaction or nothing. You know, it's not that kind of bite. So I had to revert back to some of my techniques I was using before I left, which is like my late winter techniques. And if you want to know about that, just go click on my last video. I break down my favorite winter baits. So that's interesting. So these fish are moved up, but they're still acting like winter fish for the most part. So I just wasn't expecting that. That's very interesting. So maybe the calendar has more to do with how they react to baits, but the temperature positions them, if that makes sense. So fascinating. So I love this shit. I love tracking these fish and figuring out what's going on. This is my favorite part. Well, I don't know, catching those giants. That might be my favorite part, but this is close second. So I just got to the launch. I have a feeling today we'll start off the hook because I don't have to dial these fish in. I think I'm already there. I'm just, this is more of a confirmation that I'm on the right track, and I should just be able to hammer them for a few hours before I have to get back home. So stay tuned, and hopefully you get to see some good catches. All right, thanks for watching. Not big enough for a picture, but it's another little guy. You had me fooled. I thought you were big. Right at the top of the lip. Right where it should be. Alright, I'll take it.
good one. Definitely bigger than the last one. Okay. Nice. Probably 4 pounds. Maybe 3.5. Beauty. Oh, nice. 4 pounds. Alright, I'll take a picture. Little shit. You little shit. Alright. Strong for a little 2.5 pounder. This rough bite at the moment, I'll take it. Alright. Bye, bud. Thanks for the bite. I'll take it. I could trick the small ones today. 3 pounder. Shouldn't complain.
For those of you who just wanted the juice, that's it. But a little backstory to why I don't have as much experience this time of year is I was intimidated by big lakes because I just didn't know how these fish were migrating. I just honestly have no confidence. So on little lakes with my John boat, I mean, there's not much to them. And I recommend that for those of you who have a tough time tracking these fish and just don't know where to find them. Get on a little lake. There's not much to them. You know, the fish are up shallow. And if they're not shallow, they're very close to shallow. So all you got to do is follow the bank and pick it apart, and there's only so much water you have to explore. They're not like moving a quarter mile to get into their, into their spawning flats. It's just not set up that way. It's much simpler. So I spent a lot of time, years, going out in March, just focusing on little lakes, and the little lakes have largemouth, so a little different, harder. Definitely harder in terms of getting bit, but not harder in terms of finding them. So that's why I have very little experience. Every year I'm on my John boat until first week of April or so. So that's why I'm in this is a learning process for me. It's not that this is my first spring getting out. It's just my first spring hitting up these bigger lakes that have a little bit more of a migration happening. And I find that to be a lot of fun now that I'm a little more experienced and I have a nice boat, electronics. It's really fun for me to track these fish, and I find that I'm really good at it. And tracking these fish every step of the way is half the fun for me. And luckily for that, because that's half the battle when I'm getting ready for these tournaments. So yeah, Just a little backstory in case y'all are wondering why it seems like this guy's just now trying to figure this shit out. That's not, there's a reason. There's a reason. It's not lack of fishing experience, it's lack of time on the water. This type of water, this time of year. So, all right, guys. Yeah, stay tuned. Peace.